Welcome, our dear viewers. This is our Community Mental Health and Family Resilience YouTube channel. Today, we intend to talk about quite an interesting topic that concerns most of us, and that is none other than parenting styles and mental health. Today, I'm joined by my colleague Florence, a community social worker, and then on camera we have Denise, who is also our medical social worker. Today, as I've said, we are talking about parenting styles. Florence, may I know what parenting styles are?
Thank you so much, Sia. I'm so humbled to be here. So parenting styles, that's how parents raise up children. And of course, you know, as we are different parents, so we have different styles of raising up children. And the way how we raise them differ even in society. And even those children have different behaviors and psychological well-being, basing on the foundation, how the parents have prepared them for the society. And in fact, this helps them to interpret those characters in society and even to be responsible people in the future.
According to my knowledge, mental psychologists have put forward 4 styles of parenting, and to my understanding, these include authoritative style, authoritarian style, permissive style, and then also neglectful style. Would you please expound on each and how they would guide our children's mental health?
Thank you so much. To begin with, let me first talk about authoritative style of parenting. So with this, actually a parent is responsible, sets restrictions, how things are supposed to be done, but also loving children. Let's say, for example, someone may say, my daughter, I don't like this. Yes. But in a lovely way that the child will not fear. But now you become a bit responsible that, you know, you are my precious child, so I don't want you to do this. So the child will have that parental attachment or affection. Yes. But in mind, the child will know that mommy doesn't like this, so I'm supposed to do this.
To our viewers, how do we differentiate between authoritative and then authoritarian? How do we make that difference?
Yes, they are more or less similar, but when we go into the context of it, we find that authoritarian, sometimes they are a bit strict. Yes. And sometimes you don't give a room for explanation.
So you give an instruction, yes, and you expect the child to comply.
To be
without an
obedient,
explanation.
Without explanation. Because I like this. My daughter, I don't like this. Okay, have you heard? So that tone, actually for it, it goes with the tone itself. So sometimes you find that you want a child to be responsible, but the tone you use protects, or actually it doesn't give a room for a child to think and give his or her own opinion.
So in other words, you are saying that being strict is not enough. We must explain why we are strict.
Yes, sometimes now, for example, of authoritarian, let's say a child says, Mommy, there is a function, my friend has a function, or maybe like at school. So they say maybe there is a party, they are supposed to have like a get together. Now a child wants to be with others, like a social gathering.
Yes.
The child tells you, Mommy, there is this. Now for you, you don't want to listen. You say, me, I don't like those things. Don't go.
And I think that's where most of us make a mistake, right?
Yes. Because now you will not give a room for that child to explain, and maybe she will fear you, and instead she will now start going behind you to lie.
And then it means now we are going to have issues of torture, depression will come in because we refuse to allow something which would have actually been simple to take place.
Then there is another thing where we need to be friends to our children. Now, if we use that strictness,
won't it be kamanyiro if we become friends with our children?
Now, I don't think so.
Yes, we need to make a clear cut, tell viewers where do we stop.
Where do we stop? It is now we have to befriend our children. Do you know that if you are not a friend to your child, the child will hide you something very sensitive. Yes. She will tell it to other people outside.
Yes, that is if she or he is willing to open up. Others just keep quiet.
They keep quiet, and then they develop that psychological mental problem because she fears she cannot open, and yet something is just simple, you would even solve it or maybe guide it.
So that one takes us to now our children confiding in peers. And
Yes.
also,
yes,
there is also a deficit with peers. So whichever help they don't get from peers means now those issues will go unresolved. And guess what? See the rise in cases of depression, the suicide cases we are having. I think you're on point.
Yes, because now they trust. Do you know that if a child trusts you, the child will get confidence
To open up.
Okay.
Then what happens in permissive versus neglectful? Take us there.
Yes, by the way, with that, I have an objection. To me, I would not wish to use permissive style of parenting.
Yes.
Because sometimes, much as yes, we need to love our children, we need to give them opportunity to tell or to be open, but permissiveness is not good. Sometimes you say, now, it's like accepting everything that the child tells you.
But you see, these days there is a popular notion that I don't want my kid to go through what I've gone through. So in the end, you find us giving them which amounts to permissive parenting.
Now, sometimes we look at the situation.
Yes.
And there is what we call the situational management.
Yes.
So, for example, you might compare your present situation with the past, like what you passed through.
Yes, yes.
And you say, I don't want my child to suffer like how
we suffered.
And now you create a room for redundancy.
Yes.
You create a room for not being responsible. And you just accept. A child tells you, Mommy, now at school they want laptops. And yet the child is still in pain. Yes. Is that necessary? But just because you want to make a comfortable situation for your child, because maybe...
By the way, in your view,
yes, please.
These children whom we live with, house helps or maids,
yes, please.
In your view, which style of parenting are we really using or promoting, in your view? Because that is the current norm.
Yes.
So, as an expert, let us know, in your view, somebody who is growing up with a maid or with a house help, which parenting style are they experiencing?
So now, actually, the big part still goes to you, the parent, because there is what we call motivation.
the moment you motivate a maid